A very warm welcome to Study IQ. I am Prashant Mauni. I hope you all are doing good. Dear friends, identify the person that you can see on your screen. The last person that you saw on your screen, and the question I asked you was pertaining to Kasturba Gandhi. Yes, I'm sure we all know that. She is the Mrs. of Mahatma Gandhi ji. Now you have to identify the person that you can see on your screen, and the first person to give the right answer, I will ensure that I personally congratulate them. Right, dear friends, before moving ahead, let me introduce all of you to our pen drive and tablet courses for different exams like SSC, Bank, UPSC and other government exams. StudyIQ offers best quality pen drive courses. When I say best quality, I mean to say that they are prepared by the best faculty, so the quality that you get in this one is going to be top of the range. And one more thing, I'm sure many of you don't know about this thing, and that is that pre-Diwali sale is going on. 33% flat discount is available, so if you haven't got it, then this is the right time. You can't go wrong with it, isn't it? 33% discount, but it's a pre-Diwali, so you have to order it before Diwali. If you want to know more about it, if you have any doubts, questions, queries, feel free to give us a call on this number, or you can check out studyiq.com as well. Now, dear friends, today is a very special day, and on this special day I would like to wish all of you from StudyIQ, from myself personally, a very, very, very happy Girl Child Day. It is an International Day of the Girl, and on international level this is celebrated by UNICEF, and of course our country India, a country which is having a dedicated Ministry of Women and Child Development. How can we sit behind? We have also, of course, like every other year, we have celebrated this International Girl Child Day, and Ministry of WCD together with UNICEF has arranged it arranged a panel discussion, and it was pertaining to the role of sports in empowerment of girls. Now, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago we discussed about skill development, and at that point of time I told you that how sports can play a positive role. We know some basic things about sports, that it helps you in your physical fitness, no doubt about it. Then it increases your reflexes, the way you respond, your body language, everything becomes in a sort of good shape. It comes in a good shape, right? Overall, mentally and physically, you come in a good shape when you are engaged with some sort of physical sports, isn't it? And when you are playing with a team, then your leadership skills and your team working skills, everything improves as well. And this is not something that I am saying as it's or I'm saying because it sounds good. Not at all. There are scientific research conducted on this thing. If you go through the journals of sports science, if you go through the books of sports science, then you find that this thing is very right. And one more thing that I would like to, again, I have discussed this thing earlier with you guys, and you know it. Many of you would be knowing this thing, that if we go through the corporate world at present, then we find that many top professionals, they do spend their time every single day. They do take out time, and they are doing some sort of, they're playing some sort of sports, right? It could be in their premises of their workplace, or they could be going to a gym or any sports club. But the reason why they play sports is that it is believed, and it is also proven, that if they take out some time for sports, it will help in stress management. And when you will become IAS or IPS or IFS or any other civil servant, when you join the services, during your training time as well, they will teach you this thing. They will take you through this thing, that how sports is important. And that is one of the reasons we know that being an IAS, you don't have to go out in the field like IPS officer, right? You don't have to chase the goons and things like that. Most of your work is, of course, you have to go out, but it won't be a sort of physical work that you have to do, right? Like running and catching and all these sort of things. But then as well, you are trained for sports because your overall performance goes up when you are doing sports. So having said that, this can help in the empowerment of girls as well, no doubt about it. And that is one of the reasons why we see a power-packed sports team, which includes Sachin Tendulkar and other famous faces like Mithali Raj, and you can also see Rasprit Sidhu and Mana Mandlekar and Ragini Sharma and other people on stage, and they are all here to celebrate this day, and of course to promote awareness regarding sports and girls empowerment. Now dear friends, other item, an important thing about this topic that which we are discussing here is that, see, if you go through your mains examination paper, past papers, then you would be happy to know that at least one question you find on women empowerment, right? You find one question on women empowerment every year. The other thing is, when we talk about women empowerment, then you know it that we have to start from the roots and then we have to reach to the fruits, isn't it? So we have to take a sort of holistic step. If you want to empower a woman, then it has to start from the birth, or I would say in case of India, before the birth as well, because we know that female foeticide and this sort of things do take place in our country. Of course, the numbers have dropped down, but still it is prevalent, and we hear and read many cases from various news sources that this sort of things are happening in our country. And Beti Bachao Beti Padhao is a very good program. It is showing results as well. I'll take you through all these things, but remember, this topic is a very important topic. So the things that we are going to discuss here, we are going to take a sort of bird's eye view. That means I will take you through, I will give you a big picture. Of course, I will highlight the important milestones or important things that you should know, and of course there are some things that as the time will come, we will add value to this thing. So that is one thing. And in prelims as well, many times we have seen that directly they ask you questions based on particular schemes, right, or yojanas or programs of government. So in that sense as well, it will help you. This particular discussion will help you in your mains and prelims examination, right? So coming back to Pradhan Mantri, this Beti Bachao Beti Padhao program, it was launched by Prime Minister. It was conceived and launched by Prime Minister, and it is of course a national flagship program. It is launched in 161 districts. Now when we read these sort of things that it is launched in 161 districts, then you have to remember that districts has talukas within them, and the talukas have villages within them. So it is not only about 161 cities we are talking about the whole cluster, right? So you can imagine that 161 districts is covering nearly 70% or something around 70-80% of our country. Now one of the main aim of this BBP is to increase the value of girls, and this can be done by creating an enabling environment so that they can enjoy their rights. Remember, the word here is rights. It is not something that we are doing because it feels good, not at all. It is every girl's right to have all the rights she can enjoy, or we should provide an environment that she can enjoy all the rights that are enjoyed by, say for example, boys or men. Now coming to the results of BBP, we find that this sex ratio has increased, right? It is getting more balanced when we go through the 2015-16 and 16-17 sex ratio. We see that institutional deliveries, and if we go through the figures of institutional deliveries, then we find that out of 1 lakh Indian girls and women, 167 die giving birth. And when we compare this thing with the developed countries, then we find that their average is 14. So we are more than 10 times in numbers when it comes to institutional, or you can say not institutional, but dying during this act of giving birth, or during delivery deaths, you can say. And the reason why this thing happens is because of lack of medical sort of professional help. And in this developed countries, most of the times it is related with diseases rather than access to hospitals. So this is a big difference here. And of course, under this BBP, things are improving. Institutional deliveries has improved a lot in 146 districts. And the other thing is that, dear friends, that it is a good day to celebrate the progress India has made in advancing the rights of half its children. We know that if we protect girls, then we are protecting 50%, roughly speaking 50% of our future generation. And as I told you, that we have to keep a sort of holistic approach, isn't it? We have to start from before, not from the birth, but before the birth till the end of the life, right? This whole journey has many milestones, during her education, during her teenage period, she should be provided with all these facilities like toilets. And we have seen that providing just toilets and menstrual hygiene management facilities, and one more thing is that providing transportation. So you can say transportation and providing this hygiene facilities and toilets has increased the ratio of girls going to the school, right? So this was the main thing that was blocking them or stopping them from going to the school. But now, after identifying this thing and by providing solution to these things, we have ensured that more girls reach school. The other thing is that if we go through the National Family and Health Survey 2015-16, then we find that the teenage pregnancies have halved. Now, when it comes to India, we know that teenage pregnancy takes place because of child marriages. The percentage has gone down as well. In last 10 years, if we see that it used to be 47%, now it is 27%. And one more thing that I would like to add here is, dear friends, you know that we were talking about in the Hindu news analysis, we were talking about today Supreme Court is going to it is going to go through this there is a sort of paradox or opposition between two different laws. One law is saying that, or defining any person, any individual that is below 18 years of age is considered as child, whilst the other law permits sexual relationship between a man and his wife. And when I talk about wife, we are talking about a 15-year-old wife. So if you go through United Nations definition, if you go through this POCSO Act's definition, then any person below 18 is a child, or they fall in the category of children. But there is a law that permits this sort of sexual intercourse. So Supreme Court is going to go through this particular topic, and hopefully it's very simple to understand, right? If we use our common sense, then as well we can safely say that Supreme Court is going to struck down this 15-year-old thing, isn't it? So this will of course reduce this teenage pregnancy, and this will also keep a tab on this children marriage, right? Child marriage will also come to an end. But of course we have to create awareness in our society. There are laws, and there used to be laws as well, but they don't get successful, or they are not able to produce results because of lack of awareness. People's participation is one of the most important things. So you need both push factors, so government can create laws and that will push people, and then you need pull factors as well, and that is enlightenment within society. Right, moving on to another item, and if we go through the Indian Constitution, dear friends, then as well we find that if we go through the preamble, if we go through fundamental rights and duties, then it is specifically talking about human rights, right? And when we talk about human rights, we know that it should be in balance. It cannot be that human rights are in favor, or if they are tilted towards men and women are not allowed to enjoy their human rights. Not at all. This is not at all an ideal situation. And this is we know that in our country in India, it is the constitution that is superior. It is above all other institutions, may it be judiciary, may it be parliament. No one is powerful than our constitution. So our constitution is talking about fairness and equality. Apart from that, there are many laws as well. I told you that laws works as a sort of deterrent, and it also works as a sort of push factor. So there are many laws that ban this sort of dowry and pre-birth sex discrimination, and it is showing results as well. And there are some positive schemes, you can say the nudging schemes, that are triggering sort of positive change by providing bicycle. Now you must think that providing bicycle is just a sort of political agenda. No, but bicycle, when you give a bicycle to a girl, right, a girl child, then what happens is she becomes independent. Her transportation becomes independent. She can commute to her school or her tuition classes, and then she can come back. So this is providing her a sort of wings, or you can say providing her wheels, right? And then you have hostel facilities that promote, when you have girls hostel, good facility, then this will encourage parents as well to, even if they have to go out of the station for education, then it is providing safety. It provides a sort of a shelter to them, a safe shelter. Then life skills and other stipends help in creating awareness and promoting education and empowerment in girls. Then there are a couple of schemes, and you have 3 categories here, and I think these schemes or yojanas are very important. You have one Sabla, and another one is Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. Of course, do help yourself and do bit of research whenever you come across this Sabla and Sukanya Yojana, Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. Then you should note down some important points, right? This will help you a lot in terms of prelims examination. Now, the category number 1 is, as you can see, Sukanya. That means it is pertaining to girls, right? This portion is pertaining to girls. Now, second item here is One Stop Shop. This is pertaining to violence against women. So if there is, God forbid, but if there is any sort of violence against women, then she can go to this center and she can file her complaint. And the third is pertaining to, or you can say, yes, the third one is pertaining to mothers, right? Mothers. So it is pertaining to women. So from child, you can say from children to women, this whole stages cover 3 different stages we see here, right? 2 different stages. This one is particularly related with violence, so you cannot say that it is part of a stage. But of course, this is a good move as well, One Stop Shop. So here you have Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Yojana. Matritva, of course, indicates that it is pertaining to mother. Then you have Janani Shishu, so mother and infant, and Janani Suraksha pertaining to mother. As I told you, that if you find anything on regarding this thing, then you should keep a good eye on this particular thing. Now, dear friends, the other positive things that we see in our country is that we know that the horrific incident of Nirbhaya rape case that took place in December 2012, it was a wake-up call for the whole nation, and we saw that people from all different age group participated in this, in opposing this, participated in protest against this violence that are conducted against women. And we saw the people's participation. This was the first time when we saw something like this happen. Like in 3 months, the section 375 of the Indian Penal Code was amended and made more stronger. So this is the power of people, and this is another important point. You can use this point to prove that how people's participation can help in women empowerment. Apart from that, we also need to take boys on board. We are seeing that more and more boys and men are becoming part of this drive of women empowerment, and we need them as well, because if men and women, if boys and girls are fighting with each other, if they are engaged in a sort of superiority war, then that is not going to be helpful for any of them. But if they are working together, then their speed will increase, and so will the friction as well. Friction will reduce, resistance will reduce a lot. And finally, dear friends, if we go through why we need this sort of things, because we know that before birth as well, a girl faces all sort of stigmas. If she is sick, then we find that it is the boy, right? It is a brother who will be given first priority to visit doctor rather than girl. These are the realities that takes place in our country. In school as well, dropout rate of girls are quite high, and they are more anemic in terms of health. We know that child marriages and sexual abuses and trafficking, all these things do happen, and the main victims here are girls, of course. And these are the things. And when we talk about working women, then as well we find that we are not doing that good. Only 27% when we compared with global averages 50%. And when it comes to this gender equality, then India is in the bottom. You can say the rank is quite low when if you go through 2016's Human Development Report. So what we can do, we have to ensure we provide education to her. By providing education, we are not only making her financially independent, but we are also securing the future of the future generation, because it is the mother who will train her kids, isn't it? So with that, they will have good health and good education. So the whole future generation, a whole family will become empowered when you empower a girl. And this is the thing that we should keep on doing. These are 3 questions here for you guys. Please help yourself with it, and don't forget to get your this pen drive and tablet courses, because 33% is going to end very soon. With this, dear friends, don't forget to subscribe. If you have subscribed, then please turn that notification bell on. Share this lecture with your friends. You can share it on your social media. If you have learned something, give us your like, pass your valuable comments. Of course, I would eagerly wait for your answer. And with this, I end this discussion here. Again, a very, very happy Girl Child Day. Jai Hind. Has improved as well in 146 districts. And if we go through these